Your code is a reflection of you. Make it clean, efficient, and something you can be proud of. This video is a must watch if you want to grab a job offer in the tech domain. It is especially curated for all the aspiring software engineers. Hello everyone and welcome to Scaler's YouTube channel. I am Soumya, a software engineer at Red Hat and an educator. In this video, I will explain you all the tips, tricks and secret sauces to land a job in the tech domain. Before we deep dive into the video, make sure you check out our free masterclasses by the industry leading experts. Link is in the description. Let's first talk about the type of organization in the tech industry. So these are the main three types of organization. I would rather say most importantly product-based company and service-based company. These two are the most important category, and then comes a startup. So this is product-based company, then service-based companies and a startup. Now let's talk about the basic differences between all three, because as a beginner, when we are in college, when we are in university or a school, obviously we don't know anything about what type of companies these are. So product-based company, as the name is self-explanatory, these are such companies who focus heavily on creating products. Like if you know Google, so we use so many products of Google, like Google Sheet is there, Google Meet, so many softwares are there, right? And some operating systems like Fedora by Red Hat, or maybe Wildfly, VLC, there are so many products. So the companies who create these products, who independently own and develop a software, they are called as product-based companies. And it is believed in the tech industry that these companies, the product-based companies, have much better compensation and work-life balance as compared to the other companies, that is service-based companies. Now, common example of product-based companies are these, like Microsoft, Google, Facebook, and the list is very long, like ServiceNow, Red Hat, LinkedIn, many companies are there, right? And these are some common example of service-based companies like TCS, Wipro, Infosys, etc. Now, service-based companies, they heavily focus on their services, like they don't exactly build a product of their own in the market, but they offer some services. So these are some pointers on which service-based companies focus a lot, like client engagement, and somewhere based on the research, based on the feedback that the employers provide, the service-based companies are such companies who don't offer much like better compensation as compared to the product-based companies. And also somewhere the work-life balance, though it's very subjective, like in some of the product-based companies as well, depending upon in which team you are, the work-life balance might not be that good. So work-life balance is a kind of subjective topic. It completely depends like in which team you are of the organization. So that was a basic difference between product-based company and service-based companies. I hope you have got a basic idea of what these are. And yes, I mean the 3 to 4 parameters on which people usually decide which organization is better is obviously compensation, work-life balance, what the culture is. So usually it's seen that it has been seen that in product-based companies the culture is way better, because there is a kind of a structure they follow since beginning, since they starting. There has been a kind of hierarchy. That's why they are way better as compared to service-based companies in terms of culture. But you can also get some of the employers who talk good about service-based companies as well. So these parameters like work-life balance and how the overall culture in the organization is, that depends team to team, and that's why you can hear different opinion from different people about these parameters. Now if I talk about startups, so startups like one of the best example is Uber, right? Uber, apart from that, Zomato, Swiggy, these are some of the best example of startups. So if you are very young, enthusiastic about learning many things, you want to develop things from scratch, so startups are obviously one of the best places for you. And the experience of working in a startup is indeed rewarding. I mean, they offer so many perks, so many advantages to their employer that you might like to work there in the beginning of your career. But it's been often said that in startups the work-life balance is somewhere not that great, obviously because they are the organization who are very fresh, who are very new, and they want to put in as much effort as they can, right? So yes, it depends on your interest, on your goals. If you are someone who is fresh into the career, who is fresh into the tech domain and want to learn things a lot, want learning curve to be very high, then obviously you can go ahead for a startup as well. I would suggest in the beginning you shouldn't worry too much about what type of organization you are going into. You should focus on 3 to 4 things. Number 1 is learning curve, in which team you are going, what are the technologies you will be working on, and also somewhere the work-life balance matter is like, even if you are in the young age or maybe in the older ages, work-life balance is something you should focus on, because at the end of the day we are doing stuff for ourselves, right? So yes, learning curve matters, work-life balance matter, and compensation indeed matter, because we are doing things for our career, for somewhere money as well, right? So these are some of the important differences between all these 3 type of organizations. This is the general interview process for any tech role. Step number 1 is obviously resume shortlisting. We will talk in detail about resume as well, what kind of template should you use for which role, because indeed, resume is first step to get the interview call. You will get the chance to give interview only when your resume, your CV is shortlisted, and nowadays so many softwares are there which are used by the HRs, by the recruiter people, that it's important that your resume stand out from other candidates, right? There are some obviously important pointer that you should take care of while you create your resume. So step number 1 is resume shortlisting, whether you apply via the career portal, via the referral, LinkedIn, anywhere. Resume shortlisting is one of the most significant process, and then after that the online coding round. It depends, like written coding round might be there, or some of the companies still go for phone screening round, and then third step is technical interviews. Now, like because of COVID, many of the technical interviews were virtual. Nowadays, companies are slowly shifting to the offline mode of interview as well. So this is the third step, technical interviews, and then depending upon the role, design interview, that is system design interview, might or might not be there. For freshers, like if you are fresh out of the university, there are high chances that system design interview might not be there, because I have seen like for internship or for the fresher openings, the system design interview is not there. But let's say if you are switching from one organization to another after 1 or 2 years of your career, then might be that system design interview will be there. Not might be, actually system design is indeed a very significant concept when we talk about computer science. And then after that, managerial or behavioral interview are there. So these are the steps for specifically product-based companies. So they have started with learn data structure and algorithm as step number 1. But I would say before that, step number 0 is you must know a programming language. So learn a programming language, that's very important step. Now it depends like which programming language you want to get started with. The standard industry language are C++, Java and Python as well. So I started with Java heavily, though in school time C++ was there in 11th standard. Sumita Arora's book was there for C++ specifically. So you can either go with C++ or Java, both are completely okay. I have seen students, university students wasting so much of time thinking just about which programming language should they choose, like should they go ahead with C++, JavaScript, Java, because so many options are there that it's overwhelming, and it's completely fine. I would say for that, don't get confused, just sit and decide what your goal is. Let's say later if you want to deep dive into the machine learning domain, so you can start with Python. That way you can like do data structure algorithm in Python, and later the same language can be used for building projects as well, projects of AI, machine learning, etc. Right? So step number 0 is learn a programming language. The syntax, if your fundamental will be strong, if the foundation of computer science will be strong, like what is OOP concept, what is polymorphism, encapsulation, etc., how to write a for loop, while loop, all those concepts, if they are clear, then indeed the coming steps, the other steps will become easier for you, right? So step number 0 is learn a programming language. Make your computer fundamental, programming fundamental very, very strong, okay? And after that, the very next step is learn data structure and algorithm, that is DSA. Now a lot many data structures are there, like arrays there, stacks, queues, etc. The list is long, right? Algorithms are there. So first of all, you can start with the theory, like get a good understanding of what these data structures are, like what is array, what is a stack, queue, and then you can start solving some questions of all these data structure one by one. You can use some of the free platforms out there like LeetCode. You can read the theory, the theoretical concept via the blogs, like GFG has got very good blogs around all the topics. Step number 2 is you should have a solid understanding of all the theoretical topics like operating system, networking, database management, etc. And then get ready for your technical interview, get yourself upskilled with all the computer science concepts, and finally you can start applying for the openings that are there on the career portal of the companies, right? Talking about the next significant thing, now you know that the type of organization which exists in the IT industry, right? Now we can talk about the other important aspects of how to get a job in the tech domain. So next step is job referrals, right? So initially when we are fresh out of the university or maybe in a school days, obviously we don't know about what referrals are. Like yesterday itself I had a mentorship session with one of my juniors. He had a lot many doubts about what referrals are, how can I get referrals. So some of the students out there think that if they get a referral, that means they can directly get the job offer. That's not true. And that's one of the biggest misconception that you might have as a fresher. So let me clarify. With the help of job referral, what is done? The very first advantage that a job referral can give you is increased visibility. So whenever we apply, let's say via career portal or maybe LinkedIn, or there are so many portals for applying for any particular job, right? Like Naukri.com, Monster, etc. So if you are applying via any career page or via referral, so the basic difference is that if you apply via those pages directly, so obviously so many people would already be applying via those pages, yeah. And if you, let's say, go via referral, then your resume might get better visibility in front of the hiring managers or recruiters. The second advantage that you might get via referral is that you might get access to some of the hidden opportunities. So many times it happens that the organization, they have some of the internal openings in their organization. Before they publicly advertise those openings, they make it open to their employees, so that if, let's say, they want to switch between teams, they can do that, right? And many times if, let's say, I'm an employee of any company and there is some internal opening and they are asking me that if you want to refer any good candidate for that particular opening, you can do that. Then indeed, if, let's say, I feel that you are a good candidate, maybe I have noticed your work on social media, on Twitter, on LinkedIn, somewhere, and I feel that, okay, you might be a good fit for that particular position, then I might directly reach out to you that, hey XYZ, do you want to apply for this particular opening? I can refer you. So these are like some of the advantages that you might get if you are applying to a particular opening via the process of referral. Your resume might get better visibility in front of hiring managers, recruiters, if that's coming via the referral board. Next important pointer is networking. If we are talking about job referrals, we can't skip networking, because see, let's say if someone is asking referral from me, I would obviously prefer those people who are, let's say, junior of my university, or maybe whom I know that, okay, they are good enough in that particular domain, right? So on the internet, I notice so many people who are doing good in, let's say, web development, app development, or who keep on sharing their progress that, okay, this day I did this question of data structure algorithm, etc. So I would prefer recommending those people who have a strong profile. So here is where networking comes into picture. If you ask for referral from your seniors or someone whom you know, whom you follow on the internet, there are high chances that they might give you referral instead of, let's say, if you are sending message to any anonymous person that, hey, give me referral for this position, without giving any context, like why you are asking for referral from them, or what your background is, in which domain you are good at. So make sure that you make network with like-minded people. You can do that via participating in open source organization. I mean, that is one way via which you can make connection with many software engineers out there. I mean, people from different organizations, from different companies work on a single open source project, so you might get chance to connect with like-minded people there. Apart from that, in hackathons as well, you might get chance to talk to network with like-minded coders, hackers, and yes, that's also a great way of networking. Apart from that, you can attend tech conferences, you can go in offline or virtual event, you can make connections on Tech Twitter, on LinkedIn as well. So yes, make worthy connections, and it's well said that your network is your net worth. If you are around right kind of people, they might indeed help you in your career. And moving ahead, now let's talk about personal brand as well, because nowadays if you have a good internet presence, trust me, it can give you plenty of opportunities which you wouldn't have even imagined that, okay, that exists. Like if you have a good presence on LinkedIn, if your profile is all 5-star profile, then recruiter themselves will get notified that, okay, this person is good for this particular role. Let's say if I'm hiring for web developers, right? So I might put that hiring kind of tag on my LinkedIn profile, and LinkedIn algorithm is designed in a way that it will start suggesting me that, okay, XYZ person is good for this particular role. So if your profile is good, you might get plenty of opportunities, and many of the hirings are done via Twitter as well. Let's say if you search for hashtag hiring, hashtag web development, such kind of hashtags, then you might see many tweets in which founder, recruiters, many people would be hiring there, right? So you can directly connect people there as well. So personal branding is indeed very important, and if you're confused as a student how to get started with, so you can start by posting about your day-to-day progress. Like today you learned this topic of app development, maybe about Interns, then tomorrow you learn about databases, etc. You can go post these things on the internet, and this way you will get connected with like-minded people as well, like other people who are also learning those things. Nowadays one thing is very popular, like 30 days of or 100 days of challenge on the internet, like 100 days of code, and each day you can post about that, today I learned about this topic or that topic. And with that being said, let's talk about the most important thing when we come to jobs, that is resume. So resume indeed is one of the first steps to land that dream offer, right? Now a very confusing thing about resume is that many people are not sure which template to choose and how to create the right resume. So the very first thing, make sure you are putting the right keywords in your resume. Never ignore this. Let's say if you are applying for plenty of job opportunities, that's a good thing, but always read their JDs, that is job description, and cater your resume based on the pointers, the bullet pointers that the organization has mentioned. One of the most common confusion out there is about the template of the resume. Which template should you use? What's the cover letter best for you? So for that, let's get into the laptop and understand which template would work best for you. So for me nowadays, one of the best website is Kick Resume. I mean, I have seen people posting about that they created resume from this website and they have got this job, that job. So if you see here, so they have plenty of option. New resume, they have a new option like new resume with AI as well. So if we go on new resume option. So here you can see plenty of templates are available. So what we can do is, based on our job role, we can pick the right one. Like if I select here my profession, that is I want for software engineering, right? If I click on software engineering, so they will show me the list of such resume which are good for my job profile, that is software engineering. Then out of all these you can pick which you want to pick. So what I'll do is I will share like my top 3 favorite from here, the 3 templates. You can get the link of all those templates from the description. Perfect. So let's get back to the other significant pointers. Now these are again some action words that you can put in your resume, like created, developed, you can take a screenshot of this while you create your resume, or maybe cover letter. You can use these action keyword since they have a positive impact, right? Instead of using those gap filling words, prefer using these action words. And another significant advice that I want to give to all of you, especially if you are a university student, instead of doing 20 courses, 25 online courses from Coursera, Udemy, etc., try to start doing internship, try to do some live projects, because that will help you understand things in a much better way. Like let's say if you have a decent knowledge of how HTTP, like HTML or CSS, JS, one advice which I would love to give to all of you, especially if you are university student, is instead of doing 20-25 online courses, prioritize working on live projects. I have seen a student doing so many courses, leaving them pending on Udemy, Coursera, and they don't work on projects at all. And at the end, when they want internship, when they want placement, they come for mentorship that, hey Soumya ma'am, like hey Soumya, I don't have any project to add to my resume, what should I do? But I do have a decent knowledge of how to create application or maybe website. So start working on real world project from the beginning itself. Like once you have got a decent knowledge of how the basic things work, let's say if you are into web development and you have a decent knowledge of HTML, CSS, etc., start working on project as soon as you can and start applying for internship from Internshala. So many portals are there. I mean, you can go for remote openings as well. They will pay you way better than these companies or Internshala, etc., will pay. So start applying for internship. That will indeed help you. Once you will start getting internship, then the doors of opportunities will indeed open for you, right? And moving ahead, this is again one of the most common doubts that I keep on getting. Like there are so many domains out there, how to decide which one, how to decide where to focus on. So that happens with everyone in the beginning. Don't worry about that. What you can do is take your time in the beginning to explore each and every domain, like for XYZ, which language is needed, for let's say app development, what skills are needed. Once your interest is clear that okay, you want to deep dive into machine learning or web development, just start learning about that particular domain, start doing internship into that, start applying for that particular domain, right? So yes, first of all, as I told in the beginning itself, make your foundation clear. Once that will be strong, you can learn the advanced concepts very easily. And then another significant thing is, when we are into the tech domain, when we are focusing on becoming a good software engineer, one of the most common doubt that we all have in the beginning is what is the best technology, what is the best language. Even nowadays as well, some of the people who are there in the IT industry who have 1-2 years of experience, like they also have such doubts, like which technology should I focus on, what should I learn so my career will be better in the future. So let me tell you that there is nothing like best technology or best programming language. It's all about the use case. Let's say if you are in a company where they are working on Python, so for them obviously Python is the best language. I mean, if you want to get into the app development domain, so Java, Kotlin, these languages will be the best for you. So it's about your interest, the practical use cases, like obviously for web, HTML, CSS, those things are important. So don't worry too much about what is best. If you are interested in any particular technology, if any language, if you are giving your 101%, then trust me, that particular language or technology will become the best for you because you are putting consistent effort in that, right? Perfect. And with that being said, I always encourage all my students to never stop learning, because in our domain as compared to any other domain, the learning curve is very, very high. Software engineers are like, that is such a profession where your learning never stops, especially like, let's say if you are in web development domain only, so in JavaScript also so many, modules, so many things always keep coming in, so you have to keep yourself up to date always. So always keep learning, because that is one of the best secret, I would say, to become successful in your career. I hope these pointers were helpful for you. Make a nice resume, start applying for that dream internship, for that dream job, and all the very best for that. So if you have any doubts about this video, drop them in the comment section below. I will be happy to answer them. Make sure you like this video and subscribe to Scalar's YouTube channel for more such knowledgeful content.